Hey guys, it's Amber and I am getting ready to work on day 17. So this was the other part of our day of Salem. So again, just keeping it really simple with just kind of one main little story. We weren't even really there that long. We, had breakfast and drove into town, which can take a while. And went to like a haunted thing during the daytime. So I have this picture of Jarrett and the kiddos here that I'm going to use on this Heidi swap of ghost paper because we were it was kind of like a haunted house, kind of not really, but we definitely got scared a few times. So I thought that would be really cute. So I'm going to put that on here, and I'm actually going to use the photo as a pocket, and I'm trying to decide if I want to sew on it or just use red line tape. But I'm going to have the journaling tuck in the back with maybe one or two more photos. So it'll be 4x6s so that they stand up. This is a weird size. I need to leave room for the holes, but it was a horizontal and I wanted it to be kind of taller to take up more room and not just be a regular 4x6. So it ended up being cropped down to just about 6.5 by 5. It started as a 5x7 and I kind of trimmed it a little bit here and there on the edges. So I'm going to use this creamy metallic, like sparkly kind of basil for my journaling pocket. That's going to stick up. And what I did is I created a bunch of guides. So this is going to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 square so that it sticks up like I want. And I created a guide at 3/4 so I know where my title will be, so that part is sticking up outside of the photo. I think if I have room, I'm going to put this Oh My Gourd washi tape along the top of it as well. I thought that would just be really cute. And then I'm pretty sure that this is going to be my numbers. They're a perfect color to match this. It's a very reddish orange, like a tomato color almost. So I'm going to use these thickers that are a Holly Jolly set. I've never used them, honestly, but I thought that would be a perfect match. As a place to put my number, I was thinking about doing another stitched little piece right here of some paper. What I really want to use is this black paper here. So I'm considering cutting a small piece out here to use because I don't want to cut up another full piece and it'll be hidden by the photo. I also pulled out this little scrap of basic gray that I have. I thought that the greens kind of pulled cream and kind of matched the photo. So I'm considering that one. It's a little bit of a departure though, and it's going to be right next to the cream here. But I thought it looked good. I also pulled out this piece of basil cardstock, but it's just so stark. I feel like I really need something that is distressed. So that's pretty much what I have going on here. I'm going to print the journaling out for you in a few minutes and get started. And like I said, if I am going to sew here, then I don't think I also want to sew along here, but I'll probably definitely be using my red line tape, the 1/4 inch size, because I've sized everything, assuming it'll have a 1/4 inch of adhesive there. And the other thing that I do kind of need to do is line it up and get my holes punched as well, because it's going to be on this side. Wait, I can't remember. Yes, the holes are going to be punched on this side. So I think that'll be really cute and a great way to tell my story and include a couple extra photos and still keep it to a single day without creating a flip up. So I've done a lot of pockets in this album, but none where the photo has been a pocket yet. So I think that'll be fun. So let's get started. Okay guys, so the very first thing I'm going to do is trim my cream cardstock down to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I'm using an Old Memory Keepers trimmer there. That's my 12 by 12 trimmer. And I'm going to see how I like the way that fits. It looks pretty good. So I just wanted to make sure before I made any changes or did any printing. So next I am taking a piece of cardstock out of the middle there, which is going to be hidden by the photo, so I can use that. I'm just using my craft knife on another Making Memories. Actually, that's a basic gray matte. And here I'm just looking to see how things are going to look. I've got my card printed out there, and I'm grabbing a 2.5 inch circle from my stash with Ally stuff just to see if I like the size. Double checking the size, and then I'm going to grab my punch and punch out a piece of that. I tried to punch as much as I could so I have room for it to overhang and then trim. So I'm just going to add that with rolling date adhesive because it's getting sewed on. I'm just smoothing that out, making sure I like the way it's centered, and then just trimming off that edge with some scissors. And I also want to see what it looks like with the numbers on there. Make sure I have enough space for stitching to go around them as well. So I'm just quickly showing you a shot of my sewing machine there. It's pretty old, but it's getting the job done. I ran 2 passes through on the circle just so that it looked like it had you know, some detail to it. Basically, the first one wasn't perfect, but I don't expect it to be perfect. And I'm just showing you a little close-up there of what it looks like with the messy stitching. And I'm just using now my paper piercer to help me attach the puffy stickers on there. It's really well centered and I have plenty of room there, so I'm happy with how that came out. And my next step is going to be turning this into the pocket. So I changed my mind and I went with 1/8 inch red line tape instead of 1/4 to give myself more room for the pieces going inside the pocket to fit in there comfortably, just in case, you know, they feel a little tight, because it is going to have the cardstock and 2 photos. So I didn't want it to be too tight. So I'm just grabbing out the photo from day 16 that this is going to get attached to. Before I mount anything down, I'm going to round the corners of my cardstock there. And I need to mount this to the back. I forgot that it was a different size, so I just have to adapt. Not a big deal. I'm going to put the 7-inch wide photo from day 16 on the 7.5-inch wide cardstock and just let the black show through. So I'm using my Gina K Terrific tape here to mount these back to back. I use the 1/8 along the holes and the 1/2 inch along the outsides just for some stability. And I'm going to only peel off the piece on one side, get that straight, and then I'll peel off the rest. Repunching my holes, and now I can add my pocket. So I'm going to remove all the release tape and just eye it up to attach that down, just making sure I have equal space on the left bottom and right hand side next to the holes. And this was sticking up a little bit, so I trimmed off a tiny bit off the cardstock so that the first line of journaling is hidden. And I was going to put the washi tape there, but it just seemed too crowded, so I opted instead just to put it along the bottom. It's a little tight there as well because I trimmed it, but I just wanted to use it and I thought it'd be a fun addition. So I'm looking at how it's going to be with the photos in the background. They're a little brighter than the dark colors I have going on with the photo, but I decided that I'm okay with that. So I'm going to use my May Arts ribbons. I've got the orange and white stripe, black and white chevron stripe, and this black sparkly velvety kind of ribbon. So I'm using my slot punch here to make oval holes. It's a lot easier to get the 3/4 inch ribbon through without making it bunch up too much. So I really enjoy using that from time to time when I can and something's not pre-punched. Highly recommend that for something to add to your stash. So I'm just cutting the ribbons there, grabbing my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and I'm going to thread those through. And I'm going to twist it so that the black is in front of the orange so that you can see it from both sides with the sparkle, because the back's just a little bit boring. So it makes it a tiny bit thicker to do that, but I like the way it looks. So I'm just going to finish adding in together those ribbons, tuck them into the pocket, and then off camera I'll add a little Heidi Swap Puffy Ghost to my number 17 circle, and I'll show you a live look in just a moment. Okay guys, all done with day 17. It ended up being really simple. It's going to be a little thick, but not much I can do about that. So I had forgotten that my photo the day before was only 7 and not 7.5. I needed it to get most of the photo in. By widening it, it actually cropped it more, so you would have barely seen any of the roof. So I thought it looked fine here with a little bit of black on the outside. That won't be a problem. So I've got my journaling here, Something Haunted This Way Comes. I rounded the corners just to give it a little something different because it was like square, square, square. The same reason why I went with a round shape here. Added my original plan was to put the washi tape there, but it was a little too close to the photo. It just didn't look right. It looked very crammed. So just showing my journaling here. I printed out very gray, I think because of the color of the paper and the texture instead of black, but that's fine. Added the washi tape at the bottom, and then I doubled up my ribbon on the photos as you saw, and it didn't have to be like that, but I just thought it added a little something, and it looked kind of pretty like that. So Hopefully you were inspired to try something where you're making a photo pocket. And just a reminder to subscribe if you want to be automatically notified when I post new content. Thanks so much.